Good afternoon, and we would like to start our City Council meeting off. Could you please stand for our invocation? Let us all pray. Eternal God, we come before you with a grateful heart for the City of Florence, for its people, its history, and its future. We thank you for allowing us to gather as servants of this community, entrusted with decisions that shape the lives, neighborhoods, and generations yet to come. Today we pause to honor Black History Month. We give thanks for the courage, resilience, faith, and contributions of Black women and men who sacrificed, helped bend this nation closer to justice. Lord, we thank you that in Florence we are chosen to work together. Black, white, Republican, Democrat, men, women, united not by party or position, but by our shared love for this great city and its people. God, help us to listen with humility. Help us to speak with respect. Help us to lead with integrity. And today we make this declaration that Florence is a place where love will abide. It is a place where families will grow strong. It is a place where businesses will thrive, where children grow strong and become productive citizens. We declare this for the city of Florence, and it's in your name, God, that we ask you to bless every resident of this city, bless every first responder, educator, business owner, faith leader, and family, and bless this council as we work together for a Florence that is stronger, fairer, and brighter. And it's in your name that we pray. Let every heart say amen. And now we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council, we have, well, first, let me just say, Council, Councilman Smith will be a little late. He had a family member's funeral to attend, and Councilwoman Niece Smith, we are praying for her speedy recovery. She had surgery, and so she will not be in attendance. But what we have on item 3, adoption of agenda, if there are any things that we want to change around on the agenda, move up anything, this is time to do it. So, Council, we are at adoptions of the agenda. I would like to move up 2 resolutions, and those resolutions are the Montessori item, resolution number 2026-02, and I would also 05, I'm sorry, seeing, and then I would like to move up resolution number 2026-06, if there's not any objections.
Madam Mayor, I would also, under Resolution C, I'd like to have that that it be heard in executive session.
Thank you so much.
George, unless we're killing that one, I think that one should be spoken in public forum if at all possible.
Well, I think we'll have an opportunity after taking legal advice to then come back out. Yeah.
Okay.
Could
So-
we at least have the discussion on that prior to? Because I
Well,
think that's something that a lot of people in the crowd would like to hear.
Yeah, I think that's a matter after we get legal advice back in executive session, then we can come back out.
So we are executive session for resolution number 2026-07, and the other 2 will be moved up, and we will move it up right after service recognitions, if that is okay. Thank you so much. All right, we need a motion, Council.
I make a motion to move up resolution 2026-05 and resolution 2026-06, to move that up before introductions of ordinance, and also to move resolution 2026-07 to executive session
Second.
for legal advice.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it. All right. Now we move to approval of minutes, council, for January 12th, 2026. What say ye?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The ayes have it. Thank you. Now we will have honors and recognitions. And we have our very own Amanda Pope, 30 years, city manager's office. 30 years.
Make sure we let the public hear that.
Today we celebrate someone who has been and continues to be an irreplaceable part of the City of Florence family, Amanda Pope, who marks an incredible 30 years of service this month. Amanda started her journey with the city on February 19, 1996 as an office assistant 3. Over the years she worn many hats: administrative coordinator, special projects administrator, city manager's office administrator, municipal clerk, and now marketing, communications, and municipal services director. She has showcased her dedication, her brilliance, and her genuine love for this community and this organization in each role. Amanda is so much more than her job titles. She's loyal, dependable, and smart. Someone who always gets the job done, but also someone who cares deeply about the people around her. She brings a motherly spirit to our workplace, making sure everyone feels supported and valued. She gives freely of her time, her talents, and her kindness. Her generosity, loyalty, and passion for her work inspire trust and admiration across every department, and she makes our team stronger. Amanda's 30 years of service represent far more than numbers on a timeline. They represent decades of steady guidance, laughter, and an unwavering commitment to service to the citizens of Florence. Her institutional knowledge and commitment to excellence inspires everyone who has the privilege of working for her. We thank you, Amanda, for your unwavering dedication and everything you've done to make the City of Florence what it is today. You have done more than just fulfill your duties. You have made a difference. You have worked diligently to shape the positive and supportive culture we all value. Thank you for being a steady source of excellence, kindness, and leadership for 3 decades. Your impact is immeasurable, and the City of Florence is better because of you. On behalf of the city,
Would you care to say anything?
Speech.
It's been a great 30 years.
You got 20, it looks like you got 20 more in you.
I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, Julie.
That's right.
Next, we have appearances before council. Carol Dion, President of Blue Star Mothers of Coastal Carolina, to speak on reefs across America at the Florence National Cemetery. Ms. Carol Dion. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. My name is Carol Dion, and thank you for letting me speak today. I am the president of Blue Star Mothers of Coastal Carolina. Blue Star Mothers of Coastal Carolina is the area sponsorship group for Wreaths Across America for the Florence National Cemetery here in Florence. Last year, Blue Star Mothers of Coastal Carolina was named #1 wreath sponsorship group in South Carolina and #9 in the whole country. That's something to be very proud of, the wreaths that were placed there. We were having issues with getting rid of the cardboard on Wreaths Day and getting rid of the wreaths on Wreaths Retirement Day. We had to spend wreath money, which we would have spent on purchasing wreaths, to get those dumpsters and get those things out of here. Last January, I was put in touch with Amanda Pope, and she put me in touch with Adam Swindler. And I'm sorry, I don't know what Adam looks like. I never got to see him. In the Florence Public Works Department. Adam and the Public Works crew stepped up, and this year was the easiest, cleanest wreath removal we have had in 15 years.
Yeah.
No broken backs, no pockets full of wreath stuff, no pickup trucks full of, my husband's still pulling wreath parts out of his truck. And we are so grateful for the city's assistance in this. Adam, the Blue Star Mothers of Coastal Carolina, is he here? I have no idea.
I was about to say, Adam, stand up.
Oh, I'd like you to come up here.
Yeah, they want you to come up.
Yep. We would like to present you with this certificate of appreciation to you and the Public Works crew in recognition and of your support and generosity with the Wreaths Across America program. We are forever grateful.
If you don't mind, could you come in the front here so we could take a picture?
Can I bring the guys up that actually do the work?
These two guys were so professional, they were so kind, and they did a fantastic job making sure that they didn't damage any of the property at the Florence National Cemetery. And that was very, very, very important. So this is for all of you. And I'm part of that, I get to hold some. This is my daughter, Melissa. She is a 22-year Army combat medic.
And I just want to give you a challenge coin and thank you for what you guys did for my brothers and sisters out at that cemetery. Thank you so much.
Oh, ooh, that is beautiful.
If you're ever in the military, you know what a challenge coin means, and it's a big deal. It is.
I was about- Thank you so much for that. Now we will move up to our resolution 2026-05. This is a resolution to proclaim February 22-28, 2026 as Montessori Education Week in the City of Florence. What say ye?
So move.
Second.
Second? You all can pass that down. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The ayes have it.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. A resolution to proclaim February 22nd through 28th, 2026 as Montessori Education Week in the City of Florence. Whereas, based on her observations of children and the ways in which they learn, Dr. Maria Montessori developed an innovative philosophy of education in the early 1900s that continues to influence learning across our city, state, and nation. And whereas the Montessori program is a system for the education of children from birth through age 18 that utilizes specialized materials, techniques, and careful observations that support the student's natural development, foster independence and self-confidence, and promote the principles of peace through responsible citizenship. And whereas the Montessori method provides students with multi-age learning environments that allow children to progress at their own pace through individualized instruction, small and large group learning, and cooperative peer interactions within an environment that nurtures the unique needs and potential of each child. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Florence does hereby proclaim February 22nd through 28th, 2026 as Montessori Education Week throughout the City of Florence and encourages all citizens to recognize and celebrate Montessori schools, students, and educators for their valuable contributions to education and the broader community. Resolved this 9th day of February, 2026.
Could we have the students and teacher to come up, please? teachers, so can I get the small ones to stand up, come up here? You come up here, you come up here, you come, because we need to squeeze you in, okay? And I'm gonna stand back there. No, I guess. How about? Yes, I'm gonna stand right here. Is this tight enough for everyone? Squeeze in a little bit more.
Let me smile.
So would you care to say anything?
Sure, I would love to. I never miss an opportunity to talk about Montessori. So here we have our upper elementary students. In our resolution, we mention multi-age classrooms. So our upper elementary students are 4th and 5th graders. They learn together in a classroom. They kind of float back and forth between them. We love Montessori for many reasons, but one of them is that, there are many tangible things that we can measure that we think that we get from Montessori. We think that we teach them very broadly. They have great vocabularies, good reading comprehension. They have an amazing foundation in math, all these things that we can really measure. But I think also important about Montessori is that we focus on some of those intangibles, collaborating with each other, learning to work with different people who have different opinions and different ideas, problem solving, a lot of problem solving, asking for help, receiving help, giving help, all of these sort of intangibles that we believe will make them good citizens, good leaders in their community, and just good members of the Florence community in general. In the world today, it doesn't always seem terribly peaceful, but Dr. Maria Montessori was very big on peace education.
Be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Florence, South Carolina hereby proclaims March as Women's History Month in the City of Florence and encourages residents, schools, organizations, and businesses to observe Women's History Month by recognizing the accomplishments of women, past and present, and by supporting activities and initiatives that celebrate women's contributions to our community. Resolved this 9th day of February, 2026.
Thank you so much. We are doing this resolution in February because we want all of March. We didn't want to wait until after our city council meeting in March. We want all of it. So we want you all to get ready for what's coming. So I would like to present this to our women in philanthropy. If you all will come up, and we're just giving you a tad bit of what's coming in March. Come on up, ladies. Y'all don't want to come up? They don't like to take it. We almost color code. Women just think that's how we do it. Thank you. Did any one of you want to say anything?
I just want to thank you for this recognition. This means more than you know. We have struggled with membership over the past couple of years, just in economy in general. So we welcome any ladies of anywhere in our region to come join us.
Next on the agenda, we have introductions to ordinance. This bill is number 2026-01, first reading. An ordinance to annex and zone RU the property located at 2916 West Palmetto Street, identified as Florence County Tax Map number 00100-01-031. What say ye?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying, oh no, we hear from you now. Yes.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. This property is located along West Palmetto Street, just past, or just, I guess, west of Celebration Boulevard. It is a large parcel. The developer proposes to place townhomes on this property, and the recommended zoning is RU, residential urban, which allows for higher density development such as townhomes and multifamily. We as staff believe that fit the character of the area, being partially commercial, as well as some adjacent higher density development. And Planning Commission did agree with the city's zoning and voted unanimously to recommend the RU zoning. And here's a picture. There's currently a single-family home on the structure, which I don't think is really utilized as a single family. I think it might have some commercial aspects to it right now, but it is going to be torn down as part of the development. And Planning Commission also approved the sketch plan concurrently with the proposed zoning as well. So this concludes staff's report.
Thank you. Any discussion? Yes.
As I understand it, this is property right adjacent to Celebration Boulevard, is that right?
That's correct. It's just behind some of the commercial, I think the Mexican restaurant and the natural foods establishment there, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we'll have Bill number 2026-02, and it's the first reading. An ordinance to amend the planned development district for New Ebenezer Baptist Church at 312 South Repnell Street, identified as Florence County Tax Map number 90103-03-001. What say ye?
Motion.
Second.
Jerry?
Thank you, Mayor. This does affect the New Ebenezer Baptist Church campus and them alone as part of this request. They're currently zoned PDD, or Planned Development District, whereby they kind of create their own zoning rules as part of an ordinance adopted by council. And it was adopted back in 2008, I believe, and it was very site-specific when it was originally adopted. They amended it to add the SHE-REC Center, or that they use as a multi-purpose space back in the early 2010-12 range, but they would like a new sign for that property, and their current ordinance, or that plan development, is very site specific. It only included the current sign that's associated with the church. And I'll zoom ahead just a little bit. They wanted to install basically a approximately 10-foot tall sign that advertised the church, as well as to have a digital component to it that would allow for them to have some changeable messaging along Palmetto Street there. This is very much in character with the Palmetto Street corridor in that area, as well as what is allowed typically on campuses and in that type zoning. So we're proposing to incorporate the activity center zoning into this PDD. That way, if additional signage or changes were to be made in the future, it would have some guidelines in place. And the activity center zoning essentially allows up to an 80 square foot size sign, which is about half of what's allowed in the general commercial. Which is very much in character with this corridor, and also to allow up to a 24-foot height associated with this. And this sign is well below this, the proposed one. And this concludes staff's report.
Thank you so much. Any questions or discussions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposes? The ayes have it. Next, we have Bill number 2026-03. It's the first reading. This is an ordinance to amend the City of Florence Unified Development Ordinance regarding iterant vendor sales, mobile service, and temporary use permit. What say ye?
So moved.
Second.
Jerry?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. This is a little bit of cleanup in our ordinance. Our ordinance currently has definitions and guidelines for itinerant vendor sales, but it's not addressed in our use table. So while it addresses it, we really don't have a good mechanism to permit it. And it also, for these type uses, currently requires to go out to the public realm for planning commission approval, which, to be honest, we've never really done, but that's what the code says we should do. So we're doing some cleanup here. Also, the ordinance mentions mobile services, but doesn't address them head on either. So this is a little bit of cleanup that we're doing to add this in and get them under some of the permitted uses. So essentially, itinerant vendor sales is any person, business, or establishment that sets up for a temporary amount of time, not more than 10 days in any 30-day period. And this includes things like outdoor sales booths, truckload sales, sales from vehicles, outdoor display. We see this a lot at the mall when they have truckload sales. Also, this time of year, I know you've seen some of the Valentine vendors around town, and we've never really had a good mechanism to permit those folks or to regulate them to make sure they're not causing a nuisance. So this allows us to do that once this is in place. And also, mobile services means the on-site provision of commercial or community services when they go to a site, meaning they're not taking drive-up business, but they're going to a home or another business. These include things like dog grooming, vehicle cleaning, dental exams, library services, windshield replacement, things of that nature. And these are all very common services in our business realm, and that, A through G there is just a short list because people are getting very creative these days and come up with all kinds of uses that we have to look at and monitor from a zoning standpoint. Like I said, these were already in the code. We already had commercial use standards, but we had no mechanism of enforcing them. It essentially, for itinerant vendors, it just regulates, make sure they have permission to be there. They don't operate after dark. They don't have, a lot of crazy signage on site, things of that nature, much like we regulate mobile food vendors now. And, we also, they have a lot of site standards they have to meet currently as well, as far as trash pickup, and all this is already in the code. We're not adding this at all. It's already in the code. We're just adding some of the definitions, and the key thing we're doing is adding it to the use table, the commercial use table, where itinerant vendor sales would be allowed in all the districts that's outlined in the conditional requirements, and then the mobile services would be permitted in all districts because those are services that are going to the location to do the work. And we also would like for these to be administrative approvals. Otherwise it could take up to 45 to 60 days to get these uses permitted if they have to go to planning commission into the public realm. So we would like to streamline that and make sure that they have administrative approval, and we're striking all of the planning commission requirements for that.
Okay.
And and planning commission did vote unanimously to recommend this text amendment. This concludes staff's report.
The floor recognized Mayor Pro Tem.
Jerry, you give such wonderful, detailed descriptions, and I love it, and I thank you for that. But just to make sure that everybody understands what we're talking about, if someone's going to have a mobile car wash business,
That's right.
and they call up my office, and I got two people who want to have a mobile car wash, want them to come to my parking lot and do a mobile car wash. As it stands right now, they have to go to a public hearing before they can come and do a mobile car wash in my parking lot.
Technically, yes. Technically, yes.
So
That's a temporary
this
use.
says you don't have to do that anymore.
That's right. Yes.
Okay, I got you.
We've never really enforced that, but yes.
But as it
it's
currently
complicated.
stands,
Yes.
that's the way the ordinance is currently written, right?
Yes.
Okay, and this just says it streamlines the process so that we can have it handled administratively, and we don't have to go through the planning commission, public hearing, and all of that. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Councilman.
Is there any kind of like decal or something like that someone, we need to look at it for like a bunch of industries like electricians, landscapers and stuff like that, but some way to identify that they have gotten their permit you know, which would be easier for enforcement as well.
Yeah, and we could definitely look into that. I mean, obviously, we would issue them a paper, you know, or an electronic copy of a permit, which they could keep on hand and produce if asked for it. But a decal would make it a lot easier for enforcement
It's
mechanisms.
just like a business license. You have to display your business license, you know, where it can be seen. And even if it was that it had to be, you know, in some kind of acrylic or something, but it had to be, you know, on the exterior of the vehicle or in the glass or something like that where it can be seen.
Right.
The business license is visible.
Yeah, we could
If you didn't
definitely
want
look
to
at that
create
as part of
another,
the permitting
you know,
process.
decal or something like that.
Yep.
Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have Bill number 2026-04. It's the first reading. An ordinance to amend the City of Florence Unified Development Ordinance regarding in-home child care facilities. What say ye?
So moved.
Jerry?
Okay, thank you. This is another bit of cleanup in the code. We have traditionally called in-home child care facilities that have 6 or more individuals that they care for in the home. And then if they are a larger facility, they have to meet special conditions and get Board of Zoning Appeals approval for that. And what we found is that we'll permit somebody that wants to care for 6 children under our small in-home child care ordinance, but then they go to the state level, and the state fire codes don't allow more than 5. So then it ends up them calling us, and it ends up with some, I guess, some conflict there. So what we're doing is aligning our code with what the state fire code regards as the smaller child care facilities. So we're updating our definition there at the bottom to include 5 children, and then the large home child care to include 6 to 12 children. And any of the larger ones still would have to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals for approval, which takes it out to the public realm, because child care facilities which are embedded in the home could potentially cause more conflict at that size. But they also have to meet higher standards under the residential fire code is there, and potentially installs a sprinkler system and things of that nature. So it's a big step up when you get there. So this code is simply aligning our code with some of the state codes.
Councilman McCall?
I have a question. So we're amending from 6 kids from 6 to 5.
That's
But
correct.
is Section C an addition?
Yes, Section C, we're defining the in-home large child care. Yes,
Initially, that wasn't in there, right?
that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
And-
we did have conditions for this, but it wasn't defined in our code. So we do have, because it's a Board of Zoning Appeals, we did have conditions for that special exception in place, but we did not define it in our code.
Yes, Councilman?
Is like the zoning for you know these types of homes going to be, you know, just R1 single family zoning? Is this in any home
It's in any home.
regardless of zoning?
That's correct. And the small child care has been allowed forever. You know, I mean, even in the old zoning code. But the large in-home child care, it's always been allowed too, but now we have, with the 2018 code that was adopted, we put these special exceptions in place.
Could that be limited to like commercial reuse district or something like that, or you know, I don't want to, you know, mess with the spirit
Yeah.
you know, of it, but you know, there's no definition in terms of the square footage of the home. You know, I mean, is large just in reference to the amount of children, or is it in reference to the home? You know what I mean? So does it mean that you could, if you get the special, you know, conditions, could you have 6 to 12 in a townhouse?
You could potentially, yes, if But DHEC would also have to inspect that space to make sure it was adequate to meet their regulations. We don't do that level of inspection.
Gotcha. So DHEC would regulate the per square footage, the number of children per square foot, and all that information?
And actually, hold on, I pulled up the conditions real quick, and let me briefly go through them. It is limited to single-family detached dwelling units. So it is limited to that when you step up to the larger one. And it has to meet all DHEC regulations, and there can't be another child care facility within 1,000 feet. Very limited signage to basically just a placard. Employees have to be residents of the dwelling, so you cannot bring in outside employees, even in a large facility. And they also have to not create a burden on neighboring properties via traffic or noise. They have to have adequate temporary parking and drop-off areas, and the owner of the dwelling unit has to be, provide approval for this use at the location.
I just know of one situation in particular, I think maybe off of Damon Drive, that it caused a lot of safety issues and concerns and stuff like that. And so, some of those things that you referenced are vague, adequate. What is adequate?
Right.
You know what I mean? And DHEC wouldn't determine what is adequate with the parking and the drop off and this and that. They would just determine the per square footage and number of care workers per child and things like that. Is there any way to make the code where it's not left up to interpretation so much? You know what I mean? Adequate. Like if at least 4 parking spaces. Just something that's more not interpretation, because like with building code and this and that and the other, what happens is what one person says is adequate, the neighbors, they don't live there. So they say, okay, well, this is adequate. Well, it might not be adequate for the neighbors who are trying to get out, of their driveway or something like that. So is there any way to define it more, or kind of close that in?
Yeah, we could definitely take a look at the conditions and see if they need to be defined further. I will tell you that since this code's been put in place, we've had 2 come before the Board of Zoning Appeals, both of which have been denied, very much for the reasons you're citing, mainly traffic and or noise concerns associated with it. The site just wasn't suitable for that much traffic coming through.
So Board of Zoning Appeals would determine whether it's adequate.
That's correct.
So they would have to state their case.
That's correct, because they can approve it, or they can approve it with conditions. They could put some conditions in place based on the location or what the complaints were and such.
I guess I didn't hear that and that it had to go through that.
Yeah, it does. It has to go through the public approval process, which is
You
very
have to
good
have, like,
because
one adult per 4 children or something like that. Is that
something like that. I'm
so
not
they
sure.
would have to actually live there. So if it was a husband and wife, that's 8. So they'd have to all.
That's right. It makes it very difficult for them to accomplish it. Yeah.
Well, that's fine. If it's got to go through through one of our committees or something like that,
Right.
I wouldn't want to.
And it's good because all the neighbors get letters. We post the signs, and all the neighbors get letters, and that in both instances that's gotten spread throughout the neighborhood. So we've had a pretty good
They
turnout.
have the opportunity to speak. And
That's correct. Yeah.
Councilman McCall?
Yep. I want to, make sure I'm getting everything. So the first statement was that to comply with state regulations, you go from 6 to 5. But we're adding in small and large section. Small for subsection C. Can you put it back on the board? So on subsection C, we add in small. We got C twice. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that should probably be a D.
D.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. First C, we got small, and then the second one is that's all that is an addition, correct?
That's correct. And what we currently allow these, we just didn't define them.
Define them.
Yes.
Got you. And here's my thing. So I'm a part of the Hunt Institute and child care child care, early child education. All this kind of comes into play. And one of the biggest concerns, they say that the reason for the increased cost is the increase in government regulations. I'm not saying we should have no regulations, but just the increased cost of it is the increase of regulations is increasing the cost. I feel like sometimes we can get in our way, I'm in favor of changing what the state regulation is, of keeping it from 6 to 5. But I think in adding the definition between small and large, I want to make an amendment, make it a motion to amend this ordinance to subtract the word small from subsection C and from the, I guess, supposed to be D, childcare in-home large, to take away that entire section. And at this point, it's just my understanding this is only keeping us in compliance with the state and not having other rules and regulations that can increase the cost of things, which we already, to my viewpoint of things, we making things as more expensive than it should be. So that's my amendment.
Do we have a second?
Can we have a discussion on it? Could it be like,
Yeah.
I think that's where,
I think we've got to say, I second the motion. Okay, but now you can discuss.
I mean, I certainly agree with Councilman McCall in terms of the cost for childcare. Is there a zoning that it wouldn't be limited to? Like if they were in, NC whatever, or commercial reuse or something like that. I just think that the biggest issue is if you're in a single family, neighborhood, and then you got a business with 12 children in the back, then that causes issues. If the councilman was in agreement, if there was certain zoning districts that D didn't apply to, but it applied to these zoning districts, but not these. If it was a multifamily, or if it was something more broad than just single family housing neighborhoods, I don't know, would that be something that you'd be open to?
I mean, yeah, but I just think we just added on more unnecessary stuff. I just don't. I still don't get it.
More regulation.
Address so the state does require currently up to 12 children, but there's a they distinguish between small and large, and that cutoff is that 6-child mark. And so
small and large is a DHEC term.
That's right.
That's right,
And
yeah.
so what that does, once you reach 6 children and above, it increases the requirements of how many people you have, but it also requires fire suppression systems and other types of things that go into place. So I think it's important that we have that distinguished, because it is permitted by the state. So we certainly don't want to remove that and not allow that to occur should that be appropriate. But we do need to distinguish between the two, just because at the state level they have increased regulation and increased requirements from that. And I think that's right.
Is this something that, because we have so many questions for it, that we actually move? Is it something that needs to happen this month?
No, it's not urgent. No.
Is it something that we can have so we could better understand what's going on with that? Council, so I'd like to make a motion that we defer for further discussion, so that, well, first of all, I got to see first if
I withdraw my motion. Yeah.
if he would, yes. And
How would we go about getting that, and what form could we get some
Well,
more information about how?
let me take my motion back and say, can we move this into executive session for us to discuss before we actually?
Don't know the
and
legalities of it, yeah.
Can we discuss the legalities in executive session? So I'd like to make a motion that we move it into executive session so that we fully understand the legalities.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. Next, we have Bill number 2026-05, and it's a first reading. This is an ordinance authorizing the conveyance of or property located at 804 Waverly Avenue, identified as Florence County Tax Map Number 90061, 2022-11-015 to facilitate the construction of a home which will be marketed for sale at price based on fair market value as part of the neighborhood redevelopment efforts within the city of Florence. What say ye?
Second.
All those in favor signify. Oh, I'm sorry, I got Jerry.
I just had a map showing the location.
There you go.
This is located in the CDBG district. We will have a development agreement coming forward potentially next month regarding this property at second reading. So that's it. Yeah.
Any questions? Thank you so much, Jerry. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The ayes have it. Next, we will have Bill number 2026-06. It's a first reading, an ordinance to amend the budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, and ending in June 30th, 2026. What say ye?
So moved.
Second.
Oh, now, Glenn?
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and Council. The objective of the proposed ordinance is to amend the general fund budget for fiscal year 25-26 in order to appropriate funding for early purchases. This is something we do every year after the audit's completed. This is also something we discussed at the January budget work session that we had. These purchases are one-time, they're non-recurring expenditures, and they're capital in nature, meaning they're multiple years of usage. They'll be funded using excess unassigned fund balance remaining from the fiscal year 24-25, and this is important because it's using savings that the city has rather than future tax revenues or recurring revenue streams here. So just a couple of those projects and purchases. We had facility improvements at the farmers market. There was replacement of patrol vehicles, fire safety equipment, breathing apparatuses. Those would stay in compliance with the OSHA standards. There was a new tree truck for beautification of facilities, parking vehicles and amenities, including recreation bus and a jumbotron screen. And the screen was for a requirement for the league. Is it the Coastal Plain League? Yeah, the Coastal Plain League that we have to stay in compliance with them. And it's going to be something that's mobile, so we can also move it around for city events if necessary.
Any questions?
If I'm not mistaken, Glenn, most if not all of these were presented to us, Mr. City Manager, at our budget retreat.
Yes, sir. They were presented at our budget retreat. They also were presented to the Finance Committee as well, and they have a motion. I think they had a motion at that meeting to approve.
It was, the Finance Committee approved it at their meeting?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? All those signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have resolution number 2026-07, and that has been moved to executive session. So next, we have resolution number 2026-08, a resolution of the conditional grant and development agreement to provide an incentive for the development of new housing within East Florence as part of the ongoing neighborhood redevelopment project. This also will be moved into executive session. We have resolution number 2026-09, resolution of conditional grant development agreement to provide an incentive for the development of new housing within East Florence as a part of an ongoing neighborhood redevelopment project. Also move to executive session. Now we move to reports to council. Appointments and boards and commissions will be moved to executive session, which brings us to Malden and Jenkins CPAs and advisors. This presentation of the City of Florence, South Carolina Annual Comprehension Financial Report and Audit Financial Statements by the independent certified public accountant firm of Malden and Jenkins CPAs and advisors. What say ye?
This is just a report.
This is just a report. That's right, we're not voting. So Glenn,
Yes, ma'am. I'm just
Report.
here to, I'll introduce Grant Davis. He is our partner over the engagement for the City of Florence annual required audit, and he is here to report the fiscal year 24-25 audit results.
Well, Mayor, members of council, thank you for having me here to go over the results of our audit of the city for its, again, fiscal year ended June 30, 2025. Again, my name is Grant Davis. Just a few things I'll mention. We've ultimately issued 2 documents as a part of the audit. One is the thick one that I've got here printed in front of me. It's the annual comprehensive financial report with our opinions thereon included. The second document is a document we call our auditor's discussion and analysis document. And the purpose of that document is to communicate some things to you all that we're required to communicate. And I'll go through those here in just a moment. But in addition to those required communications, which are required by our professional standards, there's some information about who we are as a firm. There's some high-level financial analysis, really, really high level. And then there's some there's a brief discussion of the new accounting standards that are on the horizon and their potential impact to the city in future fiscal years. But just to refer to a few things within the annual comprehensive financial report, we've ultimately issued 3 reports on our letterhead within that document. The first is our opinion on the financial statements themselves, and our opinion is a clean opinion. Our terminology is unmodified. That's really the only acceptable result in a financial statement audit. So, clean opinion on the financial statements. Just after that, our independent auditor's report, you'll notice if you flip through the document, the management's discussion and analysis, and I mentioned this at finance last week, but if I had to suggest that you read one part of this, nearly 200-page document, I would suggest that you read this management's discussion and analysis section for the simple fact that it provides discussion and analysis as to why, why did revenues increase, why did assets increase, so forth and so on. But beyond that, you get into the basic financial statements themselves. After that, and the footnotes, which just seem to go on forever, we get to the final 2 reports that we've issued. The second of 3 reports is a report on internal controls and compliance with laws, regulations, grant agreements. As a part of that, or what that report describes, is we're required to perform the city's audit in accordance with government auditing standards and generally accepted auditing standards. And if we identify any instances of noncompliance or any internal control deficiencies, we're required to report that to you all. And I'm happy to say we did not identify any instances of noncompliance. We did note one internal control deficiency, which is reported on in the document itself. But that's the purpose of that second of 3 reports. The third and final report is, we call it a single audit report. So anytime the city, or any entity for that matter, receives and ultimately expends in excess of $750,000 in a fiscal year of federal money, whether it came directly from the federal government or whether it was passed through a state entity, for example, it triggers a compliance audit. The federal government issues compliance requirements for each type of grant on an annual basis, and we had to audit 2 different what are called programs. One is the Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds Program. You're probably familiar with it from the ARPA terminology. The other is what we call CDBG, Community Development Block Grant Program. But we've ultimately audited both of those programs and issued a clean opinion, or an unmodified opinion, on compliance relative to those 2 programs. So all things considered, I think a positive result. I went into more detail in terms of the financial highlights with finance. Happy to do that with you all, but I'll let you decide if you want me to go into more detail. Certainly happy to answer any questions that I can if you have any.
Council? This report was given to the Finance Committee, and I think that they will have something to talk about that when it's their time to report. So being that there are no questions, we want to thank you for what you have done, and that being said, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Next, we will have the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. Just a few items for you. As you know, Florence County Legislative Day is tomorrow. You're all invited for that in Columbia. I look forward to seeing you there. Your South Carolina Ethics Report is due March 30th by noon. Excuse me, March 29th. Get me in 29th. Deadline's March 30th. Let's make sure we have those in. We've recently received a grant, a tree canopy mapping grant. We will be able to map the trees, the city's urban forest in GIS. We received that from Green Infrastructure Center, and Adam and his team is doing a great job of working with that. So we'll have great information about our tree canopy. It is certainly getting older. We'll have to look at how we replace that, how we manage that forest here in the city of Florence. And finally, as you know, we had a major snowstorm in Florence last week. There, we had 5 fires throughout the Florence area. There, we had very few car accidents. In those fires, generally we have people warming up their houses doing cold weather events. That wasn't the case in any of these fires. That was just people at home cooking, but we did have about 5 fires there. We had a number of commercial sprinklers that did not survive and burst, caused major problems with a lot of our commercial properties. We have the ability now to look at all properties who are using water, all users, and we found that we had about 700 users with continuous water flow. So that gave us pause, obviously. We knew that there are a lot of lines, service lines that were breaking, and we were able to call a number of those and shut off a lot of that water there. We did experience a slight decrease in water pressure because of all of those. We only had one line, the city line, to break. That was in Country Club of South Carolina. There was an 8-inch main that was in the woods, and we actually used our drone to find that line there. There are no downed trees during the storm, so all in all, it was a pretty good day, a storm weather event for the city of Florence. But we did have, again, a number of housing units to experience some line breaks. That concludes staff's report. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, City Manager. There's a question.
And it's just a question, it's a comment. I just want to commend staff and all of the workers. I mean, it was very, very cold. And it was very cold for the residents, but it was also very cold for all of staff that was out there taking care of the city's business on a daily basis, whether it's first responders or whether it's public works, utilities, whichever the case may be. And despite the weather, staff and everybody, all the workers of the city did an incredibly admirable job. And I just want to commend and thank all the staff for their diligence and their dedication. We have a incredible City of Florence staff, and I just want to take my hat off, and I'm sure all the council joins with me in applauding staff and saying thank you very much. Thank you.
Next, we will have our mayor's report, and with that being said, George, I would actually ditto some of that. But one of the things that we talked about when we had our budget retreat is informing our community of where we are. In 2024, we had a water debacle, and it brought to the forefront our issues with our water. Our water problem did not begin on that day. Our water problem began back in, what could you say, the late 90s, when these problems with brown water appeared. The city of Florence, with this council, with the leadership of the city manager and the great staff, have taken steps that has not been done since we have been dealing with brown water. And I said to them, we need to inform people, because when you see brown water, you think we are still where we were. We're not. We're not. Under this city manager's leadership, he brought in not just the experts that are here. He brought in experts from around this country to make sure that we have the best resolve to fixing this problem of brown water. Now, I don't care how much money we get, in which we need a lot of money. This problem will not stop overnight. It will not go away overnight. But under the leadership, technology has been added to identify brown water, so that we can, the city manager can have staff to go out and flush the system, because you need to understand, Florence has, and I'll say it 1,000 times, quality water. I'm not telling you what I'm trying to sell you. I'm telling you facts. We have quality water. We have industries coming to Florence because we have quality water, and we had those on the staff with the foresight to plan for us to grow in infrastructure. So they created capacity for us to grow. However, we understand, we hear you when you say, I'm having brown water. But we also understand that there is 700 miles of pipes that are aging, and that problem cannot be overturned overnight. So by far, the city of Florence does not have a failing water system. That by far, I want to applaud the work that has been done, because you all have not seen how much that has taken place in this year and a half since we've had this water debacle. I've been to DC 3 times with the city manager and Michael Hemingway, and I sit in Lindsey Graham's office or in Russell Fry's office, and their staff tells us, and our lobbyists tells us, how proud they are of Florence and how detailed we are. I listen to them say, when you all apply for grants, you all do it in a way that makes it easy for us to give you grants, because you are so detailed. Other cities, we have to comb and we have to search to try to find information. So I want to join with what you are saying. Staff, you are doing a phenomenal job. And if you, I know you're going to do it. You're going to continue to do the great work that you are doing, because we are no way where we were a year and a half ago. And we're going to resolve this issue. We are putting $30 million into this brown water, but guess what? It takes time for those things to turn around. They won't turn around overnight. And I applaud you. I wanted to say that from this council. Council, thank you for having the willingness to step up and make the hard decisions to say, we are voting to put the money where it needs to go, and that is to resolve this issue. So I just wanted to make sure because we get conversation constantly of brown water, and our public does not know how far we have come. We have come a long way, yet there's a long way to go, but we're up to the task. Next we have in my report, not your report, there's a property that I can say the property is, hopefully, there's this unsightly house at the end of the bridge that everybody wants to come down, or we do something to. Y'all, as of February the 7th, it is in our possession. So, The processes are, don't steal my thunder. Yeah, but we are almost completed, but it is almost in our possessions, and you will see movement on that property very soon, because we believe that's a gateway, and we need to improve it. Then lastly, on our CDC, Helping Florence, I'm about to say Helping Florence, our CDC, we have to make appointments.
I put Community Development Committee.
Building Florence together. Yeah, Building Florence together. There were some appointments.
That's the wrong committee.
I'm on the wrong, get off that. So as mayor, I am finished my report, because I'm about to jump in another report that I have to make in another one. So we'll move to the Business Development Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Business Development Committee met on January the 15th. Present at that meeting was myself, the mayor, Councilman McKay, as well as the city manager, Scotty Davis, and Clint Moore, as well as Michael Hemingway. It was a very involved and detailed update that we got at that time on Project Urban Square, which is anybody can look out and see they're actively working the plant, as well as awards that were being given and project kickoff dates. I would like to just piggyback, if I may, for a moment, Madam Mayor,
Yes.
on the conversation about the infrastructure, because this process of addressing the infrastructure in our city is an enormous problem, and it's been going on for quite some time. The problems go back, as was mentioned, decades, but what I'm particularly excited and proud of is that this council in September, we voted to approve a master plan for our surface water treatment plants, for the surface water, as well as for groundwater, and also for water distribution, and for stormwater, and for sewer. So all of these elements were, and it was a 10-year master plan that was authorized and approved, and it had not only identified, it took 4 years, is that right, Michael? So the coming up with a plan, identifying everything, took 4 years. So it is extraordinarily comprehensive. And I am so proud of council to have approved the funding so that we can have the master plans in place. But now that we have them in place, it not only told us and identified where the difficulties were, it identified strategic solutions in the short term as well as long term for not only existing infrastructure but also for planned growth. And the staff under leadership of our city manager has taken that to heart and is actively working to implement the elements of the master plan. So this is a long-term fix, but the problems, we are absolutely not addressing them anymore in a Band-Aid approach. And that's what was being done previously. They were being done, a crisis came up, and we would go fix the crisis, and another crisis would come up and would go fix that crisis. And it is inefficient business. It's inefficient for any business, whether it's a city or anywhere else, to address things in this knee-jerk reaction approach. And so now we have, after 4 years, we have in front of us, for all of these different infrastructure elements, a identification of the problems, identification of solutions, and a very strategic approach being taken to address each and every one of these very expensive infrastructure issues all the way across the board. And I want to commend all of council for the support, and the Business Development Committee with Councilman McKay, Mayor, and myself, we were the ones that approved these master plans and presented them to the city council as a whole. So I want to commend my fellow committee members for the work that was done to bring forth these master plans, and then also want to extend to city council my appreciation for the wholehearted support that all my fellow city councilmen and women have given to this. And we have then turned it over to our city manager to say, go forth and make it happen. So thank you to staff for taking this work to heart and for implementing it. And so that was just my follow-up to it. Anything further on those points? No. That's all of the reports.
City manager.
I just wanted, as a point of information, back to your previous comments about the property. Although that will clean up that gateway, we're actually getting the property for gas tanks. There, we need some gas tanks in that area, so we will be using that.
Yeah, we need to say that. You can kill
That concludes the report of business development.
Thank you so much. Yeah, don't say that. Next, we will have the Community Development Committee. That committee is Councilman McCall and Councilman Smith. We met on last week. We have several projects underway, and that what the city manager was making reference to, we will be dealing with this committee, and that is forthcoming. But today we need to make a motion to select the Building Florence Together committee. We have 3 that are up. We only have 1 that is being suggested. So what I am making a motion that as of now, we will keep 2. 1, we will make a motion for 1 to be added now, and her name is Kakila Robinson.
Second.
Yes, that was my motion. Second.
Do you need us to vote?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have our finance.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the Finance Committee, we met on Wednesday, February 5th. Myself, Councilman Smith, and Councilman Brian Braddock. Also, we had Madam Mayor in attendance. She wasn't a voting member, but she was in attendance. Staff member, we had City Manager Scotty Davis, Glenn Bodenheimer. Said it? Bodenheimer. My first time saying it, Glenn. All right. Bodenheimer. All right. And we also had Clint Morris in attendance as well. What we discussed at that meeting, the majority of the meeting was consisting of our our audit from Grant Davis, who spoke earlier. And again, I wish they can say in better terms that the City of Florence is in good financial standings. However, their word is a clean and unmodified opinion. That's the boringest title I ever heard for a clean report. But unmodified is what we do have. I mean, everything is running well. We spoke on that. Secondly, we went over the early purchase ordinance. We voted on it already as well. And again, I want to commend staff on, being proactive in using money from a surplus for one budget to help take care of the expenses in our upcoming budget. So I want to commend staff on that as well. And then lastly, we had an update on the update to our towing ordinance, trying to make sure we're more in compliance with state regulations. And there was a few other questions and concerns that we have, so that will be positioned for our next meeting. And then lastly, did we vote on to do the members? Yeah, we did. Lastly, we went over the opioid funding, and the committee made a recommendation that we will create a committee that was presented in the plan that came to us last month in January. We're going to take parts of that plan and create a committee for future opioid funding. I think we'll probably get an ordinance or resolution together to that effect at our next council meeting. And again, it takes the kind of the politics out of the opioid funding and allow an actual professional group to help make those recommendations. Again, that would be brought forth next month. I think that was Brian Braddock's suggestion for next month. And if there's any other no other suggestions, anything I'm missing out on, anything? Nope. That will conclude the finance committee report.
Just want to understand, Councilman, you're directing staff to write that up and provide.
Provided, yeah, I think that was voted on. That was voted on in our committee.
Councilman Smith?
No. You know your report?
Yep.
I just want to apologize for everyone. I had to funeralize a family member today, so I just want to apologize for my tardiness. Typically, I'm always here even when we have services, but today was a different day for me, and I just want to apologize to everyone and to the City of Florence for being late.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, next we are about to go into executive session to discuss discussions regarding the development of projects referred to in the resolutions, discussions regarding appointments and boards of commission, discussion of a proposed economic development project located in the downtown redevelopment district, discussion and receipt of legal advice regarding proposed contractual arrangements involving the creation of intergovernment, discussion of the Lake City, I'm trying to go back to it, the resolution for Lake City, and the discussion regarding a matter involving the employment of an employee. And after that, we will come back to you. What say ye?
Move to
And the in-home child, the ordinance for the in-home child care facility. What say ye?
move to executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. We will have a 5-minute break. 5 minutes. Mic's back on. We call this meeting back into session. We need a vote to come out of executive session.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The ayes have it. Just to let you know that while we're in executive session, there was no vote taken, no action taken, and now we are back in session. We will start with bill number 2026-04, first reading, and this was an ordinance to amend the city unified development ordinance regarding the in-home child care facility.
I'd like to recant my motion to approve. Withdraw. Yeah, that was the word. Recant,
Second, all those in favor signify by no vote needed. Okay, so, and now what are we doing?
I'll move to defer.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have resolution number 2026-08. This is I already read it, so I don't have to reread this, right? So, what say ye? That's East Florence. We are at those two properties. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 2026-09. Resolution, y'all know what, that's another one in East Florence. What say ye?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The resolution, go back up, I skipped that one. The resolution number 2026-07. There was no action taken.
Go ask for a motion, I guess. Doesn't need to be a motion on that?
No. Okay, now we are at appointments and commissions. Boards and commissions.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. We have vacancies. Maintenance Board of Adjustment and Appeals. We have 4 vacancies. All fall to Madam Mayor. There are currently no applicants on file.
Defer.
Resilience and Sustainability Committee, that falls to Councilman Smith. We have 1 applicant.
Defer.
City of Florence Board of Adjustments and Appeals, fall to Madam Mayor.
Ofarari Gregg.
Ofarari Gregg.
Yes.
Ain't right. No. I thought you was on board as BZA. Is that BZA?
Yes.
Okay. I think you said adjustments and appeals.
Zoning Board of the Zoning Appeals.
Appeals. Okay. All right. I got you. I got your microphone on too.
Okay. Your microphone on. Oh,
Second.
all those,
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Veterans Park Committee, falls to Councilman Smith.
I'd like to nominate Martin Luther Quick.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Public Safety Citizens Review Board, that falls to Councilman Braddock. There are 3 applicants.
Defer.
This concludes staff's report.
Thank you, council. Council, this comes to, our meeting has now come to,
Motion to adjourn.
all right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.